Hello friends, welcome to your own channel, Deep Gyan Power. Today we are going to talk about one such sadhana, spiritual practice, one such tradition, and one such young Vedic genius, who at the age of just 19, achieved what very few people in all of India have been able to do. We are talking about Dandakrama Parayanam, and we are talking about Vedamurti Devavrat Rekhe, who created history by completing this vast Dandakrama after 200 years. Devavrat Rekhe coming from an ordinary family in Maharashtra, aged just 19. But the sadhana, extraordinary. Where boys his age waste time on mobile games or social media, Devavrat Rekhe dedicated his life to the service of the Vedas, the tradition of the Guru Graha, Guru's abode, the penance of Parayana, recitation, and then he achieved what hundreds of great sadhaks fear to do. Vedamurti Devavrat Rekhe's biggest achievement is successfully completing the Dandakrama Parayanam. Dandakrama Parayanam is considered the most complex and supreme method of Vedic recitation. In this, the mantras are repeated with complete purity of sequence, pitch, svara, and pronunciation, using an extremely difficult mathematical pattern, anulam vilam, so that the purity of the knowledge is maintained. This demands extraordinary memory, concentration, and discipline. He achieved this historical feat at the age of just 19. He stayed in the holy city of Kashi, Varanasi, and completed this complex recitation of the Madhyandina Shaka of Shukla Yajurveda continuously for 50 days without a single error. This achievement is considered historical because Vedic scholars and monastic orders have certified that the Dandakrama Parayanam, with this classical purity and completeness, was last performed approximately 200 years ago. Thus, he has revived a nearly lost Vedic tradition. For his extraordinary competence and penance, he has been honored with the title Vedamurti, one proficient in the knowledge of the Vedas. Vedamurti Devavrat Rekhe is a great inspiration for today's youth. His story shows that if discipline, danda, and the correct process, krama, are adopted in life, no goal is impossible. He has proven that the young generation is fully capable of preserving its ancient heritage and knowledge. His achievement is an example of the pinnacle of mental concentration and memory power. This story is not just about a record. This is a story of penance, of faith, of power, and of the re-establishment of Vedic culture. So get ready, because today's video will touch your soul. What is Dandakrama Parayanam? Friends, whenever we talk about the Vedas, a sacred sound rises in the mind. A nada sound which is not just heard by the ears, but is felt by the inner consciousness. From this sacred experience is born Dandakrama Parayanam. Now the question arises, what exactly is Dandakrama Parayanam? Most people hear the word Parayana and think that simply reading or reciting the mantras is Parayana. But in the Vedas, Parayana is not just a recitation. It is a discipline, a resolve, a sadhana, practice, where the practitioner's body, mind, breath, and consciousness all align in one direction. Now let's talk about the word Dandakrama. Danda means discipline. Krama means a fixed arrangement or pattern. So the complete meaning of Dandakrama Parayanam becomes a recitation of Vedic mantras in which the mantra, the svara, pitch, the rhythm, and the breath, everything is arranged in a precise and rigid sequence. This sadhana is so deep that even a slight mistake compels the practitioner to restart the entire process. What is done in Dandakrama Parayanam? You must be wondering, what is so difficult about this practice? Friends, Dandakrama is not just about repeating mantras. It is a complete Vedic journey. In this, the sadhak, practitioner, recites every mantra with pure pronunciation, maintains the svara, pitch, with complete stability, repeats the mantras in the special pattern anulam vilam, forward and reverse, controls the breath according to the pace of the mantras, and keeps the body absolutely still throughout the entire period. This demands complete control over all 5 areas. Just think, one single mistake, 1 second of the mind wandering, and the entire sequence restarts. That is why it is considered one of the most difficult sadhanas in the Vedas. This young ascetic is a living example of dedication and discipline for the country and the world today. Devavrat Rekhe left physical fatigue behind, put mental struggle aside, and joined his consciousness with the divine energy of the Veda. His guru said, such a great Parayana at such a young age. This is truly not talent, this is a boon. His great work has inspired the entire Veda community. Someone said, "This is the Acharya master of the next generation." Someone said, "The grace of God is visible within him." And several senior Vedapathis said, "Such a huge Parayana at such a young age." This is pure dedication. This is not just a record. This was a signal that the Vedic soul of India is still alive. And many such diamonds are hidden in the new generation. This sadhana is not merely an external recitation. From the outside, the sadhak just seems to be chanting mantras. But what is happening inside? Inside, the rhythm of the breath and the energy of the mantras become one. The svara, pitch, creates vibration in the body. The mantra stabilizes the chitta, mind stuff. And slowly the sadhak reaches a state where the mind is quiet, the prana is balanced, and the consciousness is awakened. Truly, Dandakrama Parayanam is a test of the body's endurance, a test of the mind's stability, the touchstone of memory power, and the sadhak's complete spiritual journey. To call it merely recitation diminishes its glory. It is an internal light journey. The true essence of this sadhana, Dandakrama Parayanam, grants the sadhak three powers. Patience. Because this sadhana teaches you that even one mistake can happen, but you maintain the resolve to restart. Concentration. The sequence of the mantras, the svara, and the rhythm together make the mind stable like iron. Divinity. As the mantras enter within, the chitta of the sadhak becomes purified, and an unearthly glow appears within him. The rishis used to say, when the mantra goes from outside to inside, then the sadhana begins, and when it returns from inside to outside, then the sadhak is born. Dandakrama is the path to this birth. What is done in Dandakrama? In this sadhana, the sadhak does not just read the mantra. He repeats the entire series of mantras with complete concentration and accuracy. In every round, the sadhak has to pay attention to the pronunciation of the mantra, the purity of the svara, pitch, the balance of the rhythm, the control of the breath, the stability of the body. A slight mistake, the svara being slightly off, or the mind wandering. The entire sequence has to be restarted. That is why it is counted among the most difficult sadhanas of the Vedas. Friends, this sadhana is as simple looking from the outside as it is vast within. Controlled breath eliminates stress and anxiety. Concentration keeps the mind completely calm. That is why sadhaks who practice Dandakrama always appear calm, stable, and radiant. The importance of Dandakrama in the Veda tradition. In the olden times, brahmacharis who performed Dandakrama Parayanam would take a vow to their guru. Until my mind is controlled, the svara merges into the sound of the Veda, and the consciousness becomes one with the mantras. I will not give up Dandakrama. This is why those who perform Dandakrama are given the highest respect in the Vedas. Why is Dandakrama so difficult? Because it requires physical endurance, control over breath and voice, perfect accuracy of the mantras, continuous rhythm, complete concentration of the mind. One mistake, one moment of deviation, and the entire sequence breaks. That is why this sadhana is only possible for one who not only reads the Vedas, but lives them. The 19-year-old boy who created history. Now we come to the most inspiring part of today's story. A 19-year-old boy from an ordinary family in Maharashtra, Devavrat Rekhe. At an age when children waste time on mobile and social media, Devavrat dedicated his life to the service of the Vedas, the tradition of the Guru Graha, the penance of Parayana. And then, he achieved what even great sadhaks fear to do, 50 continuous days without a single error, the holy land of Kashi, the Madhyandina Shaka of Shukla Yajurveda, complete classical method, and the Dandakrama completed after 200 years. He was given the title Vedamurti. Scholars said, this is not talent, this is a boon. Reactions from the entire Vedic community. Someone said, this is the Acharya of the next generation. Someone said, the grace of God is in him. Senior Vedapathis said, such a massive Parayana at such a young age. This is pure dedication. This is a message that the Vedic soul of India is still alive. And there are extraordinary diamonds in the new generation, the inner powers of Dandakrama. It is said that Dandakrama grants the sadhak deep peace of mind, emotional stability, dissolution of ego, increase in memory power, purity of chitta, mind stuff, and a divine radiance within the rishis used to say, when the sadhak performs Dandakrama, the Vedas protect him. Inspiration, what we should learn. This story of Devavrat Rekhe tells us, no age is too young. Discipline always bears fruit. Veda Adhyayana, study, awakens the soul. Penance is never wasted, and dedication to a holy goal changes life. If a 19-year-old boy can perform such a great sadhana, why can't we change our small habits? Take a small resolve today, that even if it's for 1 minute every day, we will connect with the divinity within us. If you liked this video, then like, share, and subscribe to our channel Deep Gyan Power for more such spiritual and inspirational content. Thank you. The chanting of mantras is not ordinary sound. It is the vibration of the prana, life force, the expansion of consciousness, the awakening of the soul. As the sadhak completes the sequence, his chitta deepens, energy reaches the cells. The body tires, but the soul becomes even more radiant. This is an inner journey, the depth of meditation, the science of nada, sound. This sadhana is spiritual, but an entire science also works behind it. Maintaining the same svara for a long time strengthens the vocal cords. Nada and resonance calms the emotional center of the brain. Frequencies of the mantras balances the nervous system.